I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Like, I don't go for skydives or, any of that stuff. It doesn't drive me. But that thrill and rush I get of, darting a bear or working with a lion or doing, swimming with an anaconda, like, that fuels me for weeks. Like I get getting goosebumps thinking about some of them right now because I get so excited by, and it's not just for a personal rush, but rather, we're doing it for work or whatever. But those moments stick with me forever. And I sort of get that, but not like I'm just going to risk my life over this climb or whatever, So
what are
it's
your
sort
thoughts
of different.
On giant anacondas? Because there's always been this thing about enormous anacondas that live in the rainforest.
Yeah, there's fascinating. So I love anacondas. I believe, and I've got a colleague, Brian Fry, in Australia, actually, and he has a similar belief that there are 30-foot anacondas. Now, 30 is a big anaconda, but you're talking about those mysterious, like 50, 100-footers.
Yeah.
Okay, so take out the Amazon and take out anacondas for a second, all right? Think about where all the largest snakes are in the world. Okay?
Florida.
Well, now, yes, but we've got all these wet tropical environments that house these huge snakes. In Indonesia, you have reticulated pythons, you have Burmese pythons, you have African rock pythons, Indian rock pythons, anacondas, all these big snakes.
Yeah.
The only place that has a wet, tropical, humid, high density of prey environment that doesn't have a massive snake is the Congo, Central Africa. Now,
Interesting.
That area is home to some African rock python stuff, but not big monster anaconda-sized ones. Right? But during World War II, there was a colonel who flew over there, and this was a well-respected colonel. I'm sure, Jamie, you'll be able to find this very quickly. Well-respected, like, I forget, he had like his wings or his patch of honor or whatever, like very distinguished, who him and his 2 passengers in the plane both reported a 100-foot-long snake. They're like, wait a minute, what is that? They were Dutch Belgium in the Congo. They flew over it once, went, what is that? And flew over it 2 more times to verify it and got so low to the ground that they said the snake struck at the airplane. And all 3 people, the pilot, this well-respected colonel, and the 2 passengers had the exact same story of this giant snake in Central Africa. And yet no big snake has ever been proven from there. But it's also a very poorly biologically explored area. And most of the time, when these animals get this big, snakes or otherwise, they're in very low. Yeah, here's the picture.
They took a photo of it?
They did. Yeah, they did. They're in very low densities. That's the real photo over on the left there.
What did they think it was?
They thought it was a giant snake, a 50-foot long.
So that's the photo right there?
I believe so. But the story's fascinating of these colonels.
But they don't know like what kind of snake. They don't know if it was an anaconda or a python or.
It would be an undescribed species because the only snake there, the African rock python, doesn't get that big.
What is the biggest snake that we know? Oh, it says it measured approximately 50 feet in length, saw brown-green with a white belly, has a triangle-shaped jaw and a head 3 by 2 feet. Oh my God, a 3-foot head. The photo was later analyzed and verified to be genuine. Van Leerd claims that, is that how you say his name?
I'm not sure, but that was the Colonel, Remy Van Leerd.
As he flew lower for a closer inspection, the snake rose up approximately 10 feet, giving a warning that it would have attacked a helicopter if it had been within striking range.
But imagine flying over and having a snake sort of lunge at a helicopter.
Imagine a 3-foot snake head. Jesus Christ.
Jamie, do you mind going to my Instagram
Literally
quickly?
Swallow you alive.
Dude,
easily.
look at this one. I posted a picture day before yesterday. This is 18 feet, and look at the size of it compared to me and how scary this snake is. Ugh. Now, to think of, like you said, you're like an M&M to a snake that
You're
size.
Tic Tac. You're one of them chocolate-covered almonds that are so good for you. Yeah. Look at the size of that thing.
That's an 18-footer. And look at how, granted, it's not 3-foot by 2-foot head, but still, that thing...
What's the weight on something like that?
It broke our scale. Yeah, it was over 200.
Indonesian villagers claim to have captured a python that is almost 49 feet long and weighs nearly 990 pounds.
I've seen this. It's not verified at all.
Do they have an image of it?
This might be the one that's on the tractor. No, it's not. There's a fake one on a tractor that
it's fake?
Floated around. Well, it's just very forced perspective. It's like a wide-angle lens, and the snake is right in front, but it looks massive.
This is NBC. This is NBC News. Let's see if it has images, this sucker.
So these are all like retics, and there are big snakes out there.
Look at the size of that goddamn thing. So what is the biggest snake? Is it a python, the biggest snake that we know of?
So the heaviest is the reticulated python.
Look at the size of that thing. How big is that?
That's big. It's probably 20-ish. So there's quite a lot of 20-foot snakes out there. And then there's a couple 21, 22s, but that's it. And so there's all these rumors of 30-foot snakes and 40-foot snakes and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing that's been verified outside of one skin, I believe. I want to say from Indonesia that is like, but skin stretch. That's the other thing.
It turns out to be a tall tale. It says when Recreation Park in Indonesia put a huge reticulated python on show last week, keepers insisted to reporters it was 49 feet long, making it the longest ever caught. But the find turned out to be a tall tale. So how big was it exactly?
I bet it was 20-ish. 21, there it is.
Yeah. 21 feet. Still crazy.
It's a big snake, man.
But not 50. I have no idea why the snake has shrunk, said one keeper when asked about the discrepancy as the snake lounged on a tree branch inside the cave. But things do shrivel up when you catch them. Yeah. You know, like fish do. Like when you catch a fish. Yeah.
Well, definitely when you tell people about it. But
when you show people.
I went fishing here in Austin this morning.
Oh, did you really?
Right downtown. Literally right in front of the Google building. Lady Bird Lake.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of bass out there.
It was awesome, man.
Great little spot.
Yeah, really fun.
Right in front of the Google building.
Right in front of it, yeah.
So the biggest in the world is the python. So they are bigger than anacondas?
So it's sort of a toss-up. The reticulated python has been clocked as the heaviest snake in the world because they get fatter, but the anacondas have been clocked in slightly longer. I think 26 feet is the longest ever recorded.
Did you ever see the Jennifer Lopez movie, Anaconda?
Yeah. The documentary? Yeah. It's great.
It's such a corny movie,
It's so good. The bad, like, snake head, if you watch it
so
today.
Bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. But that was always the rumor, is that there was enormous snakes in the Amazon and that, you just didn't see them.
I do believe that there are some megafauna out there that are yet to be found, that are in low population.
Like you believe in the sloth, the giant sloth.
I believe that has and again, that's like the thylacine. It's a proven animal. It's been 10,000 years, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't be extant in certain remote areas. Same with some of these big snakes. Maybe not 50, because maybe these things are embellished, but maybe 30, maybe 35. And I just think that there are a few, not a lot, of these big things out there. If you're one of these uncontacted Amazonian tribes, of which there are still several, West Papuan tribes, whatever, and you're seeing a 50-foot snake, nobody in the Western world, we're not hearing about that. Those things can be happening, and those stories get embellished and passed on and all of that, but we wouldn't even know until Western science gets in there. And it's sort of a double-edged sword, because once it does, it sort of ruins certain aspects of that. But I do believe that there are big animals to be found still.